Bacon should be one of the simplest products in the meat aisle. Pork belly, salt, smoke. That's the traditional formula, and it worked for generations before industrial food production decided it needed improving. Here's what improving looked like. Sodium nitrite, a preservative that gives bacon its pink color and extends shelf life, and that when exposed to high heat during cooking can form nitrosamines, compounds classified as probable human carcinogens. Sodium phosphate, added to retain water weight in the meat, linked in published research to vascular damage and accelerated aging at elevated levels. Sodium erythorbate, a synthetic antioxidant used to speed up the curing process and stabilize color. Dextrose, which is corn sugar, added to a savory pork product because the curing formula needed a sweetener to round out what the chemicals were doing to the flavor. Most Americans eat bacon regularly. Most Americans have no idea that what's in the package has more in common with an industrial curing process than with smoked pork. The ingredient panel is on the back. The front says things like hardwood smoked and naturally cured and premium. Those words are doing work the ingredients cannot. 6 brands build on that formula, 2 that chose not to use it. We go from lower concerns to the most consumed brand in America at number 1. Number 6. Jennie O Turkey Bacon. Turkey bacon occupies a specific position in the market. It's the option people reach for when they've already decided to make a healthier choice. Lower fat, leaner protein, a conscious step away from conventional pork bacon. The ingredient list does not reward that intention. Jennie O Turkey Bacon contains turkey, water, salt, and then potassium acetate, sodium diacetate, sodium phosphate, sodium nitrite, and sodium erythorbate. 5 separate chemical additives in a product specifically chosen by people trying to eat less processed food. Sodium diacetate is an antimicrobial preservative used in industrial food processing. Potassium acetate is an acidity regulator that extends shelf life. These are not traditional curing ingredients. They are industrial additives that the mass production process requires because the meat is being processed at a scale and speed that traditional curing methods can't support. The texture is consistently described as slimy before cooking and rubbery after, which is the sensory result of a product with this much water retention from phosphates and this many stabilizers holding it together. The health halo around turkey bacon is real and earned by the category in general. The ingredient list on this specific product doesn't justify it. Number 5. Great Value Bacon, Walmart. Water is one of the first ingredients in the curing blend for Great Value Bacon. In a meat product, water appearing as a prominent ingredient means the package contains less actual meat than its size implies. The water is held inside the pork using sodium phosphate, so it doesn't cook off the way it would naturally, which keeps the package weight up and the per-pound cost lower than the real pork content would justify. The full additive list includes sodium erythorbate and sodium nitrite, alongside the phosphate, 3 chemical preservatives in a product whose entire value proposition is price. Great Value Bacon is cheap because the pork was supplemented with water and chemicals to stretch the volume. Cook it, and the result is visible. Significant shrinkage as the retained water cooks off, leaving strips noticeably smaller than what the raw package suggested. A faint chemical edge in the aroma before the pork smell takes over. The price makes sense when you understand what's holding the product together. Number 4. Jimmy Dean Premium Bacon. Jimmy Dean built its identity around hearty, satisfying American breakfast food. The premium label on the bacon line implies a step above the standard tier, a product for people who want something better than the cheapest option without going out of their way. The ingredient panel tells a different story. Jimmy Dean Premium Hickory Smoked Bacon contains pork cured with water, salt, sugar, sodium phosphate, sodium erythorbate, and sodium nitrate. The full standard chemical curing lineup at 320 milligrams of sodium per 2-slice serving, before any additional salt from cooking or condiments. Sodium nitrate specifically is worth noting. While sodium nitrite is used in most commercial bacon, sodium nitrate converts to nitrite more slowly, which can extend preservation, but also means the compound persists longer through the cooking process, including through the high heat that accelerates nitrosamine formation. Independent reviewers have noted that Jimmy Dean slices are oddly shaped compared to the packaging imagery, which suggests significant variation in the cuts being processed, a quality control indicator that matters less when you're paying for premium. Number 3. Hormel Black Label. Hormel Black Label is the most positioned product on this list. Black Label branding communicates quality, premium tier, something that costs more because it's worth more. It's stocked next to standard options and priced to suggest it belongs in a different category. The ingredient list does not support the positioning. Hormel Black Label contains pork cured with water, salt, sugar, sodium phosphate, sodium erythorbate, and sodium nitrite. Dextrose also appears, which is corn sugar added to the cure. That's 6 additives in a product whose black label implies it needed fewer of them, not the same number as every other industrial brand. Research published in peer-reviewed journals has linked elevated sodium phosphate intake to accelerated vascular calcification and aging markers. At the consumption frequency of regular bacon eaters, that exposure compounds. Dextrose has a high glycemic index, notable in a product not typically chosen for its carbohydrate content. None of this appears on the front of the package. The front of the package says Black Label. Number 2. Smithfield Hickory Smoked Bacon. Smithfield is the largest pork producer in the world. Their products are in virtually every grocery store in America. The hickory smoked bacon is the kind of product that has been on store shelves long enough that most people don't consciously choose it. They reach for it. It's always been there. The packaging is familiar. The familiarity functions as a trust signal. The ingredient list: pork cured with water, salt, sodium phosphates, sodium erythorbate, sodium nitrite, no dextrose, which gives it a slightly shorter additive list than Hormel, but sodium phosphates appear in the plural, suggesting a blend of different phosphate salts rather than a single compound, which indicates a more complex industrial curing process than the simple label implies. Sodium erythorbate deserves specific attention here because it appears in almost every brand on this list, and most shoppers have no idea what it is. It's a synthetic form of ascorbic acid produced from sugar through a chemical process. Its job is to accelerate the color development of sodium nitrite during curing, which reduces the amount of time the pork needs to spend in the curing solution. It makes the industrial process faster and cheaper. It has no flavor benefit and adds nothing nutritionally. It exists entirely to serve the production line. The scale of Smithfield's operation means the pork going into these packages comes from a supply chain producing billions of pounds annually. At that scale, individual lot quality control becomes structurally difficult. The chemical curing system exists partly because it's reliable and fast, not because it produces better bacon. Number 1. Oscar Mayer Naturally Hardwood Smoked Bacon. The most recognized bacon brand in America, on more grocery shelves than any other. The name most people picture when they think of bacon as a category. Oscar Mayer's market position is unique because it combines maximum familiarity with maximum distribution. If there is a grocery store, there is Oscar Mayer bacon in it. The word naturally appears in the product name. The full name is Oscar Mayer Naturally Hardwood Smoked Bacon. That word is doing significant work. It implies a product that is closer to nature than the alternatives. The hardwood smoke is real. The naturally positioning communicates something the label cannot actually back up. The ingredient list: pork cured with water, salt, sugar, sodium phosphate, sodium ascorbate, sodium nitrite. 6 curing components. Sodium nitrite is classified by the World Health Organization, alongside all processed meats, as a Group 1 carcinogen at the category level, which means the evidence linking processed meat consumption to colorectal cancer is sufficient to make the classification, not that one strip of bacon causes cancer. What it means is that regular consumption of sodium nitrite cured products carries a documented risk that accumulates over time. That context lives on the packaging of no product in this aisle. Oscar Mayer is owned by Kraft Heinz, a company with the resources to reformulate this product and the market power to make reformulation economically viable. The decision to maintain sodium phosphate, sodium ascorbate, and sodium nitrite in the most consumed bacon in the country is sustained by the same force that drives every brand on this list. Familiarity is cheaper than change. Now here's what actually passed. Best option 2, Applegate Organics Uncured, Sunday Bacon. The full ingredient list: organic pork, water, sea salt, organic cane sugar, celery powder. 5 ingredients, every one of them identifiable as a real food or a traditional curing component. No sodium nitrite, no sodium phosphate, no sodium erythorbate. The curing is done with celery powder, which contains naturally occurring nitrates that perform the same preservation function as synthetic sodium nitrite. The celery powder note applies here the same way it did in the hot dog script. Naturally occurring nitrates from celery are still nitrates. That's the honest trade-off of an uncured product. But the difference from the synthetic version is that the levels are lower and the delivery mechanism is a whole food rather than an industrial chemical. The pork is USDA certified organic, raised without antibiotics or added hormones, on farms certified for animal welfare standards. At Whole Foods, Target, and Kroger, around $7 to $9 for 8 ounces. More expensive than every brand on the avoid list. The ingredient list explains every dollar of that difference. Best option 1, Neiman Ranch, uncured, applewood smoked bacon. The ingredient list: pork, water, sea salt, turbinado sugar, cultured celery powder. 5 ingredients. Smoked over real applewood in small batches. No nitrates added, no synthetic nitrates, no phosphates, no erythorbate, no dextrose. The pork comes from heritage breed hogs raised by a network of over 700 independent American family farmers operating under Neiman Ranch's strict animal welfare protocols. No antibiotics, no added hormones. Raised outdoors. The flavor reflects the sourcing. Heritage breed pork has a different fat profile and a more complex flavor than commodity pork. When you smoke that pork over real applewood without industrial curing chemicals masking what's underneath, what you get is bacon that tastes like the pork itself, rather than the curing formula. Open the package, and the difference is in the aroma immediately. Smoke and pork, not the faint chemical edge that marks most of the brands on the avoid list. Neiman Ranch is the #1 selling bacon at natural and specialty grocers nationally, around $8 to $10 for 12 ounces. Available at Whole Foods, Sprouts, Fresh Thyme, and online. The bacon aisle runs on one assumption, that most people will look at the front of the package, register the smoke imagery and the reassuring brand name, and put it in the cart without reading what's behind the label. That assumption has been correct for decades. It's why sodium nitrite, sodium phosphate, and sodium erythorbate appear in virtually every mainstream bacon product. In America, while the front of those products says words like naturally and premium and hardwood smoked, the 2 brands that passed didn't reformulate around those chemicals. They built their products without them from the beginning and charged enough to make that sourcing viable. Next time you're in the bacon aisle, flip the package before it goes in the cart. If sodium nitrite appears anywhere in the curing blend, that's synthetic nitrosamine risk in your breakfast. If sodium phosphate is there, that's water retention chemistry that served the production line, not your meal. If the ingredient list runs more than 6 items, each additional item is there because the pork alone wasn't doing the job. The 2 worth buying have ingredient lists you can read in 5 seconds. The 6 on this list are built on the assumption that most people won't bother.